Due to the graphic nature of this program, viewer discretion is advised.
All right, so in a recent episode of a podcast that not many people watch but I find enjoyable, Brendan Sagalow and Maddie Smith had a conversation making a reference to the fact that they've never been on Redbar or too lazy to try. Well, I'm not them, but I'll give it my best shot. The worst part about Brendan Sagalow is he's the least popular Brendan in comedy. He also decided to buddy up with that unlikable Mike Feeney for several years, which was obviously a huge mistake. And let's not forget, he's the real-life Bobby Hill, minus the propane. Not only that, but Brendan Sagalow isn't relevant enough for those big channels to mention him. But I could care less about that. When you ask for it, I suppose I must deliver. Because chances are most of my views, as little as they are, most likely come from comedians. Because you know they're egomaniacs that care about what other people say about them. Now, the major gripe that I have with Brendan Sagalow is he's an insecure rich kid. This kid literally grew up with both parents being Jewish. I mean, lawyers. But really, what's the difference? And yes, you could say his childhood might have been rough. He was probably ignored. But when he's able to hire a personal security guard to follow him around his prom, that's some rich, scared kid shit. I mean, I drove my 1996 Pontiac Grand Dam to prom, and I still had a blast. Bro is clearly a tryhard, and I'm not sure who he's still trying to impress. Daddy, maybe. Although, trying hard is more productive than not trying at all. Either way, I find him to be talented. Out of all the New York comedians, he actually has skills outside of comedy that can make him popular. Sagalow can absolutely spit bars. But the insecurity, knowing he was a rich kid and didn't grow up tough, being a legit rapper, well, nobody's gonna take him seriously. That is, unless he's honest right out of the gate, or he simply makes funny raps. But what's the life of making comedy raps? In conclusion, I invited Sagalow to guest on a podcast multiple years ago, and he doesn't read his DMs, just like the famous Brendan. That's some insecure shit. But what do I know? We all have our insecurities. At least Brendan Sagalow has proven he has talent. He's funny, and he's got flow. That's good enough for me. And all jokes aside, this dude should be the most famous Brendan. Not that meathead weirdo that ran to Austin but isn't a comedian anymore. But until the next one.
You